How can you invest and make money in today's real estate market? Welcome to the Successful Investor Show, where we talk with successful real estate investors, business owners, and busy professionals on their journey to wealth. They share their best ways and advice to make massive gains in today's market. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss an episode. Now, here is your host, Doron Nissim.
Welcome everyone to the Successful Investor Show, where we talk about how to passively invest and create passive and generational wealth through real estate and businesses. I'm your host, Doron Nissim, and I've been investing in real estate for the past 15 years, and I love it. And today I have the pleasure to have our guest, Zac Hoyt. Zac, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing great today. Happy day.
Great having you here in the show. And Zac has been investing for the past 12 years. He's been an entrepreneur since the age of 8 and love real estate and all into real estate. He has a university of teaching people how to invest in real estate. And so he has a larger experience in real estate and been doing that for a while. So Zac, tell us how you got into the real estate. Love to hear your story.
Oh my gosh, real estate. So it's always interesting how different people get into real estate. But yeah, like you said, I've always had that itch to be an entrepreneur my whole life. It's funny. Growing up, I didn't have money in my family, and I didn't even realize that until we went to the Toys R Us one day and I wanted a Nintendo. And my parents are like, "No, Zac, I'm sorry. We can't get you a Nintendo." And I'm like, "Why? I'm 8 years old, right? Why can't I have a Nintendo?" They say, "Well, we don't have money." I was like, "Oh, so money's the issue? Okay, well then I'll just buy it. I'll get my own money," right? And that's how I got a tax number in DBA at the age of 8. It was because, we didn't have money growing up, which happened to be a blessing, right? A lot of people think that it's a curse, but a lot of things in our life, if we look at it just right, it ends up being a blessing at the end of the day. And that's what's really powerful. So funny story, I found real estate investing, fast forward to 2011, when I started here, and it was a divorce. I got a divorce, and I'm very thankful for that divorce that I found real estate, because, I had to work through a lot of things, a lot of forgiveness and thankfulness and even love for her afterwards. But because of this divorce, I went to this coffee shop and I was writing my bucket list items to do, because I'm like, screw this. Bad feelings around a divorce. I'm going to get things going well. So I go there and I write my bucket list items. And that summer, man, I went skydiving. I went scuba diving. I went zip lining. I learned to fly a plane. I ended up playing guitar because I thought that would be a fun way to meet new women. Right. But then I also started running, and I wasn't a runner, but I went from 2 miles to a full marathon in 4 months, less than 4 months, because I didn't have time. And so at that point, I'm running. I'm just like, wow, that's what really taught me. Whether you think you can or you can't do something in life, you're right. You're absolutely right. Right. And so it's really funny. It's so funny. It's distance running's over 50% mental. And it always taught me those things. And so it's my active meditation now. And my new fiance, she just ran her first half marathon 2 weeks ago, and she's pregnant.
Oh my God.
So if you don't think you can do something in life, you're probably right. But if you think you can, then you're also probably right. And it's getting that mindset. So it's funny. So besides all of those different bucket list activities, I saw this ad on TV for real estate, and it said, "Don't worry, if you have no money or no credit, you can still do real estate." And I said, boy, are they talking to me? Because I swear, those are exactly the two things that I have. No money and destroyed credit, because I took on all my ex's credit as a good husband would. But then I said, I don't have any money because I'm in school for architecture, among other things. And I said, I'm not going to pay it and see what happens. Right? Oh my God. So didn't pay it, got into all of that, found real estate. So now I'm so happy that I ended up having this ex that we got a divorce, because I never would have found real estate. Fast forward 6 years, it's 2008 now. And man, I already had success wholesaling tons of properties, realizing of all these wonderful things about real estate investing. So I decided to just shotgun and do a whole bunch of different things that year, tons of different things. I bought my first multifamily property that year. I ended up wholesaling big portfolios that year. I started getting about a property a week, feeding it into my Burr machine so that we could refinance it and own those types. I started creating an app for real estate investors. I started this whole university for teaching people how to do this with no money and no credit, doing all of that because I got a divorce, right? And I had to figure out how to make money while I was in school. So how thankful am I for all of that? But yeah, it's funny, you get into something and you don't realize something that's trauma in your life ends up molding you into the character that you are today because of all that. So
right.
Wow,
positive, I love your story. And yeah, it's amazing. And they say rejection is God protection. It's exactly it. I mean, everything that happens to you, it's either you take it the right way or the wrong way, and it's up to you. It's up to your mindset to make the best out of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why it's so darn important. And that's why my fiance right now, she's an energy healer, among other things. So we have a weekly podcast that we do every week, just helping people with their energetic alignment and mindset, because I've been on this huge journey, but also, it's what she does. And I didn't even understand there was a field for that type of thing, right? I didn't know it was an industry. But once I did, I'm like, okay, lock it up, put a ring on that, and bring that one home to just be a little more happy.
Amazing. And I mean, you attract yourself the things that you're involved in, the things that you want to get. So I mean, I'm sure you attracted her to your life and everything that she does. So love that.
Love that. Yeah. Law of attraction is a big thing. You can call it so many different things, but yeah, it's 100% real, man.
Yeah.
It is. So cool.
So in all of your success and when you started real estate and you did so many deals, do you have a specific deal that we can learn from, the best deal that was amazing?
Yeah. So, the thing that really comes to mind is, it was this deal that I was working on, and it's a little backwards perhaps, but it's this deal that I was working on back in 2018 when I was doing all those shotgun of type of doing everything at that time. Man, there's so many wonderful things, but it was back in then that I was working real late at night, and you can imagine you've got spreadsheets open, and some of us might have multiple screens just so that we can see more of all these numbers and all of those things. So I'm running this big deal that I'm doing, and all of a sudden it was just I'm typing up something, and all of a sudden my vision went double. It went crossed, and my fingers started not working anymore. Wow. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Right. And so I'm Googling, I'm like, what the heck is going on? WebMD. It's like, first thing that comes up, it says, you may be having a stroke. I'm like, oh God, are you kidding me? Right. It's late at night. I'm working, I'm having good success. It's like fun deal that I'm working on. And then it's like, you have a stroke. I'm like, come on, really? And it says, you better hurry now and go to the doctor. Like, don't wait, call. And I'm thinking, oh man, I want to brush my teeth first, put on some comfy pants, everything like that if I'm going to be at the doctor. Well, fast forward, I'm getting to the doctor. They're doing x-rays and everything on me. And it ends up turning out, fast forward a few different things. They drop a binder in the middle of the night that says, you've got a stroke. I was like, oh, really? Oh, that's nice. That's a nice way of you telling me. But then the next day they take it away and they say, nope, we're wrong. Sorry. Right. Then they drop another one on me that says, you have MS. You have multiple sclerosis. You've got this disease that people don't understand where it comes from, and they don't understand how to cure it. So I'm like, like, oh gosh, that sucks. Right. Like curse word, sadness, all these things. But it's crazy. So, but what actually it was is it's just all this stress that I had in my life in that moment. Stress ends up manifesting itself in disease in the body at the end of the day. So really, if it wasn't for that deal that I was working on at that point, I wouldn't have been overworked so much that I got into this state. And so that I ended up at least being aware of what was going on, because I'll tell you, I mean, it just, that whole instance, after getting through some of the depression-y feeling, sadness of like what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, it got me to the point where you just have to slow down in life. You know, life is not about another deal. It's not about another spreadsheet. It's not about another contact. It's about living your life, having that freedom in life to be with your loved ones, everything that's going on, man. So for me, it was just slowing things down, prioritizing relaxation, calm. And I ended up creating this fun thing out of it, which is my manifesting matrix. It's something that I use every day for a happy morning, a happy night. It's got my why right in there, some affirmation, some gratefulness, a priority matrix that's at the top, which is tons better than the to-do list, you know, and just some other things on the back. But it's just something that I ended up creating out of that just to ensure that the things that I want in life are in my life, and that I'm grateful for everything every day, because you put that energy out there, and it's just such a positive one, that love, that gratefulness, you know, and just to have your why in life defined. And yeah, that's why, you know, I got engaged to this energy healer, because it's just so freaking awesome and more fun. Everything starts with your mind. Everything that we're creating, this whole meeting of us together, started because of our minds. We wanted to, right? So it's just like, while you're doing all these fun things that we all can do, and it's great, and don't limit yourself, just don't burn yourself out at the end of the day. Be very mindful for those things, you know, because you just need that self-care, and surround yourself with other people who support you in that. And you'll do tons of big things. You'll achieve them all, and you'll stay sane, and you'll stay without disease, all the different types of disease that can manifest in your body. So, and yeah, and ever since then, I've been without any symptoms. Wow. Thank God, with all of that. But it's just been, add some calm and relaxation into everything I do. And it's just a constant reminder to me to just chill out.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. I mean, doing a lot of deals, a lot of different deals, and a lot of different things can bring a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. And even some people that do a lot of money, and they get into depression because of all the stress that they have. And I understand, I fully understand how you went through all that and came back even stronger. And you know, mindful of what's going on, and I love that. So I mean, we talked about the best deal and what happened to you. Well, let's talk about the worst deal. What's a bad deal that you did that you wish you didn't do?
Yeah, so I guess one that maybe I wish I didn't do. I mean, we all have tons of those. I remember a condo in the beginning of my things where you know, trying to rehab that, and it was just a break even. That was seems boring, but I don't think I would ever touch a condo or an HOA again. But no, my worst deal by far was when I was running this university, and I was with one of the university partners, and we decided, let's go in on this deal together. He had a very successful renovation company, but the problem is, and I thought he was a very upstanding person. He was a very strong, devout Christian. But when he started falling apart in his renovations, and he stopped showing up to meetings and things like that, and then he started to come in and he started to say that he didn't care about the students at the end of the day. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You don't care about these students? I'm like, you and I are so far apart from each other right now, just in character. So long story short, that deal ended up costing me a whole bunch of extra money, because he just left it on my table and completely used the whole budget. His whole business came crashing down. So I guess the lesson from all of that is just choose your partners extremely wisely in everything that you're doing, you know? And that's why I started to create some education about that too. Anytime we learn something, you know, we fail forward. So it's like, all right, what are good attributes to choose in a partner, whether it's a passive investor partner, an active investor partner? What are those things that we want? Let's get them all out on the table right now. And sometimes I have some of my attributes written right on my my other wall here. So when I have a private money person call me up and say, what are you looking for in someone? I'll say, well, do you mind? Because I have it here. Do you mind if I just read it off right to you? Right. And that way we end up attracting exactly what we want. We just put it out there, you know, and I say that you have to be a kind-hearted, nice, loving type of person at the end of the day, and just look at their reaction to that. And, you know, because we can choose to be around everyone in this world, right, and we can choose to not be around people. So choose wisely, I would say.
Right. And I love the story about the partner, because I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has good intentions. I mean, most people have good intentions. They're good people. Right. They want to do good. They want to make money, or they want to do good for other people. And sometimes things happens, life happens, and they don't know how to deal with that. But you as a main person, you need to know how to choose the partners, ask the right questions, and even lead them to where you want to be. And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work. So.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So just being aware of those signs, right?
Right.
And not just getting so excited about the deal that's coming there that you're blindsided by that. You don't want to be blindsided by those things. So
yeah. So it leads me to my next question. I mean, and you're doing a lot of business, you deal with a lot of people and a lot of different things. What are the things that you do to mitigate risk when going into a business venture or talking to somebody or doing something?
Yeah, a lot. A lot to mitigate risk. So one of these degrees is, that one is an engineering degree. And so as an engineer, so I've been an architect, an engineer, computer, MBA, but as an engineer, when I get on that, put that hat on, I'm always thinking about mitigating risk, running scenarios, being very conservative. And so I would say, you know, proper underwriting of any deal, number one, is one of the biggest things you can do to mitigate risks. Thinking about all those different scenarios that can come up, test it, stretch it, right? Be very conservative in your type of numbers. That's super important. But it's the old adage of, you know, the right price is super important. You know, so what's your LTV percentage that you're borrowing something at? You know, make sure that you can refinance it and you still have equity to protect the investor money at the end of the day. There's a cushion in case something unknown comes up. Oh no, it drops the value 10%, you know. Oh no, something happens on the other side of the world and it drops our value, or something giant happens like a train derailment that hurts the value of all those things. You know, look out for those. So, but also besides the right price, like the right area, that's super important. Like right now in the market, I know it's so funny. Like a couple years ago, people were really liking the coastal areas, Florida and North Carolina, all there, Texas. People tend to like that a little bit more, but you got to go after it a little differently. But they tend to rank Northeast Ohio, which is where I'm sitting right now, like number one in the nation for cash flow.
I know.
Again, and it was back in 2012 that Realtor.com named it last time. There's no coincidence. It's because our rents are so high compared to the purchase price. So even right now, we can still refinance out at a 7%, 8% rate, and we still cash flow. Yeah. Amazing. Marry the house and date the rate. That's what I always say, right? The rate's going to change.
Yeah.
But, you know, besides that, along with rates, just there's so many people right now in the commercial world and then the multifamily space that are getting into a lot of trouble because they got the wrong type of debt attached to the property and their capital stack that they have. So making sure that you've got that right capital stack, where for me as an engineer, I like to have fixed rate debt because it's not like this any of this adjustable rate mortgages that can change over time. You're just hoping that the future will be good. I don't like to hope. Don't hope with your investors' money.
Hope is lope, they say.
Hope is dope. That's a good one. Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, and that's where you've got all of those different floating rate debt right now. All of that is just causing a whole bunch of problems for these people that thought it was going to be okay, but I wouldn't touch those things with a 10-foot pole. So some of them.
Those are great points to mitigate risk, and definitely you need to choose the area and choose the LTV and choose the rates and all those things that you have to know once you get into a deal, before you get into a deal, to make sure that you're not doing any things that can get you in a bad side of the equation.
Yeah.
So All right, that's awesome. So we're going to move to the next round of questions. So those are fire round questions that I have for you for our successful viewers. So the first one that I have for you, what are the 3 best success habits that you have in your life or your business?
The best ones. So I've got a lot of habits. Right. And like, this is all about my habits that I like to incorporate every day, because I'll forget them. A lot of them, I'll forget them otherwise. That's why I put them right there on my paper. But, you know, I think I'm told by a lot of people that I just think creatively in general, you know, instead of saying, and I love saying this, instead of saying like, can I do something? I'll phrase the word differently, because the words that you use, they're so powerful. So instead of, can I do this? How many ways can you do this? If you're ever attached to a problem, right? And you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this or not. Stop thinking that way, because then you're going to think, oh yeah, I can't do it maybe. Right. But when you ask yourself, how many ways can I do this? It's not a question of a yes or a no. So there is no. There's only multiple ways to get over something, to get something. So for me, that's huge. When I think of something and a problem, I don't think, you know, can I do this? I think, how many ways can I get this done? Wow. How many ways can I get money? How many ways can I get that building? How many ways can I get a good partner? How many ways can I get to live wherever the heck I want in life and be free? You know, so that's just a great one. Ask yourself and change the question. How many ways, right? Yeah. But then just do everything that you can and just be determined in trying those new things, you know, and stay positive while you're going through the good and the bad. Definitely. Like, you know, so it's just that whole idea of failing forward, but just try those things, you know, it's a great habit of just saying, nope, if there's something that I'm not used to doing, I'm just going to do it. Big deal. I just swam with sharks in Mexico for the first time. Deathly afraid of it, right? But someone came up to me and they said, hey, you know, we want someone to go first, so no cost. Here, would you go? And I'm thinking, shoot, I don't even have to pay for this. All right, this is the world giving me my chance to overcome my fear. So do it, right? Just do it at the end of the day. But then also the third one, I would say, surround yourself with people, with a community that supports you and uplifts you to everything you want to be and stretches you. If you don't have that community, then you're just going to have your own head, and our head can be our worst enemy a lot of times.
Yeah, those are great points. I love all of them, and I'm going to use all of them, and I already use them, but yeah, definitely. So the next one is, what is a good resource that you use in your business? And I know you created a university, so maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the university was basically about teaching people to go and buy properties a little bit differently. Basically, it's a fix-it-up type of BRRRR type of strategy, because people can wrap their heads around that, as opposed to, I mean, right now I'm doing tons of creative finance and getting in a time machine to go take over someone's mortgage from the last couple of years, right? Get super jazzed about that. But to me, my biggest resource that I would say nobody else has is going to be this guy right here. Wow. I mean, and even just a priority matrix. If you've never heard of this top part, just instead of a to-do list, which is just a straight list, prioritizing things so that you know what to do immediately, what things should be delegated, which things you can put off, because then you just stare at it and you think, all right, there's no excuse. That's exactly what I should be doing right there. And so then you're actively choosing to do that or not, you know? And so there's so many different resources, but this one has brought me the most amount of joy, the most amount of relaxation. And on my bad days, it uplifts me. It's a slump buster, you know, if you will. But on my good days, it just helps me be so productive and happy like that. So, I mean, I'll give you a link to this so that you can share this with people for free.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I love that.
I love that. Getting it out there, because it just helped me in the MS that I was dealing with, and that whole mindset. It just got me to a better state. And part of my why is literally helping other people in this world. So I would love that. I'd love to give it to your audience. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, definitely. And I'm sure our viewers will love to have a copy of that and use that on a daily basis.
And so I'll also give them a little video of me explaining it as well. So it's not just a PDF or something, but it's literally something that I use, that I tweak, and I'll explain every section of them, because I really want everyone's lives to just be better and happier and more relaxed, and just everyone to get everything they want out of life. To me,
Yeah.
that gives me goosebumps. That makes me happy, man.
Yeah. I mean, after all, we're all here to give back and help people. So love that.
I believe that. I do. Yeah. I absolutely believe that. Yep.
Yeah. Love
Right
that.
on.
So the next question I have for you, what are your 3 tips for people to make money in today's market?
In today's market, besides creative real estate. I mean, I love that.
Right.
That's tons of fun. But I would say, first off, one of the things that I learned was you can make money at every stage of the business. So whether you're starting out or you're more seasoned, why not make money at every stage? You know, at the acquisition, you know, during the rehab, when you start to rent it out, at your refi, you know, at the exit, at the whole thing anyway.
Wow.
You should just be able to extract money. Again, it goes back to buying the property right and structuring the deal in the right way, but you should be able to make money at every stage. And I swear, if I didn't start with no money and destroyed credit, I wouldn't have been driven to just always try and make money at every stage. But it's entirely possible. So again, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So think that you can, and you'll find how many ways can you make money at every stage of the business, right? Exactly. Ask your question that. So that's number one. I guess I'm always an open-minded and creative person. So I just try and be that way. Some people aren't, you know, so just try and be that way. Listen to people's problems and solve their problems while also taking care of yourself. There's some people that like to just solve problems, but then they'll sacrifice themselves at the end of the day. So refer to rule number one, I guess, make money at every stage, right? And then I guess the last one would be advice that I'm actually using this year. And so my word of the year is who. So I like to pick a word of the year. 2017, my word was patience. And man, I got a lot more calm and patient after thinking about that the whole year. But for me this year, it's who. And so it's that book. It's that notion of that book, Who, Not How.
Okay.
If you haven't read this by Dan Sullivan, or just get the Cliff Note version of this. But so for me, I was always trying to figure out how to do things. That's why I've got all these degrees that are up here. I thought once I get more information, then I'll be safe. Then I can move forward. Dude, that's so slow. It's so slow. If you just find someone who knows who is the answer, then you can move so much faster with so much more success and everything in life. So that's like huge secret that took me until this year to eventually figure out. So I would say, yeah, who, not how, is a real big change.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, it's part of networking. It's a huge thing to do. And to have a part of networking. And I see that on a daily basis. People that know how to network, they go so much farther and so much faster. And people like me that like to learn a lot and get a ton of information is so much slower. So
right. Yeah. And you're probably a thinker too. You're trying to think everything out.
Right.
And analyze it all.
Yeah.
Thanks to my fiance, I've been doing a lot more of just learning to use my gut, you might call it, or your intuition.
Right.
But just, you know, you've got this feeling and that you know that this is the right way to go. And so use that with your brain. So don't turn off your brain. Don't turn off thinking, but don't just think, because sometimes you can think yourself into a corner and think yourself into not doing a deal, when sometimes you just got to go forward, right? And that's where it's nice when you surround yourself with people that are uplifting and that also know a lot. Well, then that helps a lot, because you can ask them and they say, oh no, this is a good deal. And you're like, okay, now you're looking at it like it's a good deal, as opposed to like, ooh, should it not be a good deal? Anyway. Exactly. Yeah. Who, not how. Love that.
Love that. All right. So for my last question for the day is, for people that wants to invest in real estate, they have a full-time job, but they still want to do that. What is your advice for them? How can they do that?
So people with a full-time job, a W-2, that's a real specific type of avatar. And I like to think of it as different avatars, because we're all different people. We all have different resources available to us, different knowledge available to us, different history, right? I'm not going to tell someone who's a 50-year-old that has a W-2 job the same strategy to start as an 18-year-old who doesn't have a lot of experience, right? So someone with a W-2 job, they're extremely time limited, right? So first and foremost, you want to probably do things that don't take a lot of your time. So just know that you're going to follow a different path. And I teach over 100 ways of finding real estate, right? And I love teaching and educating people, but all of those 100 ways, they're not meant for the same type of person. Some of them are for people that have tons of time, right? And not a lot of money. Some of them are for people that have hardly any amount of time. They've got a family they want to go home to. They that's why they're doing this to begin with, right? Maybe they have money. I'm going to just maybe hope that they have money, but I'll say might, because you don't have to, right? But they might have money. They might have credit. They might know other people that have money and that they don't know how to invest. So those types of people are going to do a different path forward. Just know that it's a different path forward. So when you're looking, the people that have a W-2, when you're looking at everyone online that says, this is how I started, I hate when someone will say, how do I first get into real estate? And you'll get so many people that'll say, this is how to do it. This is how to do it. But you're not listening to that person. You don't know anything about them to just blatantly say they should go like this. You're going to tell an introvert that they're going to go cold call a bunch of people. They're going to hate that, right? So there's so many different things. And that's why I just created a very specific blueprint that takes everyone's assessment of all their skills and resources and directs them saying, this is now, after everything you've told me, this is the path that you should go down. Of these 100 ways, these are the ones that you should probably focus on. And then they look at those ways and they say, oh yeah, those ones kind of make a lot of sense. And then they're hearing it. So they're like, all right, now I'm going to actually do those, because there's no analysis paralysis. It's just, this is perfect for you, right? So take them down those ways of doing that. And just so know that you're different, know that you're going to have a very specific path, leverage the fact that you have credit until you don't, until banks hate you, right? Until you become a real estate investor. And then you do these underground banks, maybe you call them, but they don't look at hardly any docs. But yeah, you can also passively invest in other deals too. And that's what I imagine you use as well as me, is just lots of private capital, private money lending in order to purchase the deals that we're doing. And whether it's a short term or it's a long term, whether it's like real short term or less than a year, or maybe it's a 3 to 7 year type of turnaround until the market swoops down and we can refinance, get money out. There's lots of different ways of working to do that. But so those are some of the little tidbits I would say for all of you lucky people that have a W-2. You have to think of it like it's a superpower, because if you think of it like it's not a superpower, then you're going to go and you're going to attack the problem of real estate investing like you're weak. Like, oh, I wish I could be like all these other people that don't have a W-2. No, you have a W-2. Use it, right? Exactly. Use it to your benefit. There's many different ways that you can. And so just being aware of that, being empowered with that, I think that helps tremendously for someone in their shoes.
Wow. I love your answer, because it was completely different from all the other guests I had. And you actually attacked it from a different ways. First, know your target. First, know your avatar, or you know the person and knows what they are and what they're looking for, and knows where they are in their life. And then give them the best advice that's going to suit them. And I love that, because it's a very personalized approach, and much better approach for different kind of people. The 18 or the 50 or the 40. I mean, it's completely different thing. So yeah, I love that.
Right on, man.
Yeah. So for people that want to get in touch with you, they want to reach out to you, they want to get help from you, how can they find you?
Yeah. So lots of ways. I mean, so I'm on Facebook. I'll probably give you a link tree or something that you could send to other people too, or tag it on this. So I mean, I'm on Facebook a lot, all the time. I'm on YouTube. I have a channel. It's Go Zero to Infinity. It's all about taking yourself from the bottom, wherever that is in life, to the top, like infinity and beyond, right? But it's also, it's making sure that you have your mind, your body, and your bank account, all bringing them up together. Because if you try to do one of them without the other, you can sacrifice your mind. I'm the case example of that, where my mind went crazy and it was like, nope, I'm going to shut down right now because you're working too hard. So don't do that. So that's why I'm a huge advocate for that. So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'll end up sending you a link to the Manifesting Matrix so they can have that. I have over 100 ways of buying real estate if they're interested in learning something about that. I've got 10 secrets to successful private lending. I like to teach active investors and passive investors, and that's also free, something that I give away. And my energetic alignment and mindset podcast that I do every week with my fiance. We're always taking on people's fears, their limiting beliefs, whatever is stopping them from getting forward. And we're digesting that. We're talking about that. We're helping them through that. And again, it's just something that both of us love. We do one-on-one coaching with people too, but we just want to attract as many people as possible and help and reach as many people as possible in this world. So I mean, I'm just a firm believer that if we give and give and give and give out there, wonderful things are going to happen.
Exactly.
And they are, right? They are. And we're all happy and it's a sunny day and living our best life.
Yeah. And the more you give it, the more you get. So I love that. I love that approach as well. So yeah. Yeah. That was awesome. Thank you so much for your amazing advice. And well, I'm sure our viewers will love that.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, man. It's wonderful. I just love reaching more people and sharing my experiences. So live it up. Yeah. Go attack your day, guys. Don't put off for tomorrow what you could be doing today. You know, go and do that thing right now. Don't wait. Right.
Exactly.
And that's what we're talking about next on our podcast with my fiance is just what is stopping you.
What's her name?
Her name is Monique.
All right.
Monique the Amazing.
Awesome. That was awesome. That was great. And take action, guys, and don't wait for tomorrow and do what you want to do and you'll get to it. So yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Love it.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Successful Investor Show. If you're enjoying this podcast, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and we hope you'll join us on the next episode of the Successful Investor Show.